Aren't you about tired of listening to sports shows with all the woke bullshit? So are we. This is Patriot Sports Radio.
Patriot Sports Radio.
Fed up with the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media. If it's sports, from the high school level to the pros, we're talking about it. Like the red-blooded Americans we are.
God bless America.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Let's do this. And now, here's Eric, Angela, John, Chris, and the coach.
Welcome back, my friends. If you're new, then welcome in Patriot Sports Radio. My name is Eric. I'm your host. Glad to have you with us. Thank you for all those reviews, comments, all these things you're sharing on the internet. We appreciate all those things. If you're listening on the podcast format, we do love you. Come check us out on the video format. Get in the show. Get involved. Come on the show, as AK says. Chris is over there making things happen, shoveling the coal and so forth. Coach dealing with a life situation that we can't wait to hear about, but he'll be out today. John brought the headman. Angela's going to rub the Lions Thursday night victory in our face, I guess, with the sweatshirt. Did you know that Aiden Hutchinson walked across the field before that game, reportedly, walked up to Jordan Love and said, quote, "Lace him up tight. It's going to be a long fucking night for you."
I love it.
I love him.
And the Packers allowed this to happen. I don't know. Are we soft? I'm not sure. But that upsets me more than there's nothing more frustrating as a football fan, or at least for me personally, than your team just needing to get a stop to have that one more chance. And you know the other team is running the ball and they just keep getting 7 yards. And it's like death by 1,000 little cuts.
I'll tell you what's also frustrating when that running back is former Bears running back David Montgomery.
I was just going to say, thank God the Bears traded him.
Ouch. Ouch. Ouch.
141 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Just a stud.
He's on my
He ran it like 28 times or something like that.
Yeah.
But he was throwing guys off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Derrick Henry shit.
yeah. When he came out of college, renowned fantasy football dude Scott Barrett said he runs like an angry hippopotamus. And that's sort of what he was doing against the Packers. That might have been his best game. Like, he's always, I thought, was the sort of middle of the road running back. He just
looked like it.
Yeah. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, I guess we took him 12th overall and threw a party for no reason. I don't know. He's on many of my fantasy teams and I'm quite distraught.
It's a little upsetting. I have him also on my other one.
Well,
I have Montgomery
hold
on
out hope.
my other one.
I saw in the news yesterday, he fucking did it again. Commander Biden has bitten yet another Secret Service agent, bringing his total to 11 known victims. This dog is 2 years old. The Secret Service agent received medical treatment and is doing okay. Didn't we do a story on Major Biden biting a Secret Service agent? Like, he retired after I don't know how many bites, and now Commander
retired, taken out back and put one between the ears.
He got old Yellard. Now Commander is just dispensing justice everywhere. 11 bites in 2 years. I mean, you're a puppy for like the first 9 months. You got the puppy teeth. You're sort of stumbling around, figuring out your surroundings. And then he just got to work, I guess.
Insurance guys don't allow that. There's like a threshold for how many times you can bite somebody before you get the needle. I'm just saying.
Muzzle that thing. And a dog is a reflection of its owner. If you have an aggressive dog like that, I have to assume that these stories of the president yelling and screaming at people all the time might have something to them.
We need to bring in the dog whisperer, Cesar Millan.
Yeah, this is absolutely.
The dog's probably pissed off.
I mean,
he doesn't know his name. Biden probably just calls him all kinds of stuff, and his like anxiety because he doesn't know who he is.
Yep.
You know, we don't have to steer into the ditch of political commentary, but here's a really interesting, just little moment where it's like, we have a problem with a solution, but you guess what? We're going to let them bite things 11 times rather than bring in somebody or get rid of them. Let's just let it happen.
Let's just let it happen. Just allow it to happen. It's sort of what the Yankees did when Stephen A. Smith showed up to throw out the first pitch. That was rough. That was maybe the worst first pitch since 50 Cent. That thing traveled 20 feet and bounced. I don't think it didn't even roll the rest of the way. It just died in the grass like a wounded gopher of some sort.
Does your opinion of a man go down drastically? Everybody's like, are you kidding me? Yeah.
Like there are certain things you do that are just going to be difficult, whether that's a difficult putt on the golf course or the first pitch. There's no real way to warm up because you're on a mound and it's just harder. But there are acceptable ways that you can embarrass yourself. On the golf course, you miss long, you don't miss short. And when you're throwing out the first pitch, just airmail that as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Just somewhat straight. But if you throw it in the dirt, you look like such a puss.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, get it over the catcher's head, whatever you got to do. But
I mean, was it Simone Biles did like a cartwheel backflip McTwisty and then threw it? And it was just like, wow, that was impressive. Do something.
Yeah. I don't even remember where the pitch went.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to throw it in the dirt, at least do some sort of acrobatic, experience for us.
Do a magic trick or something and then throw it into the dirt. I mean, as soon as you get the call that you're going to throw in a first pitch, what else are you doing besides practicing?
Oh, yeah. You're at least being like, how far is that from here to where? Okay. And then you back up and try a couple times.
Let's pile up some mulch, see if we can get the surroundings nailed here.
Right. If you can't overhand it, maybe you're like, like you said, do some comic relief kind of thing and then like lob it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Make it memorable.
Something respectful.
Not everybody can be George Bush after 9/11, though.
Oh my God, that was iconic. That was fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
He fired that thing.
So great.
Yeah. An old man. That's reflecting even poorer on old Stephen A. Smith. This reflects poorly on Alabama State. The fans at the Florida A&M game were evidently more than young Jacob Freeman could handle. He's a wide receiver for Alabama State. He was trying to get at the fan in the stands to go all malice in the palace. And a security guard stepped in and he punched the security guard. Like, good enough, I guess. I'll punch this guy. He has been arrested. So I don't know if he's been charged with battery or assault or what, but they definitely arrested him. I don't know if they arrested him in pads or like the next day.
Oh my gosh. That's Florida A&M versus Alabama State or whatever for you.
Yep. Yeah, you can't.
It's par for the course.
Can't just go around punching people. What's up with all these fights in the stands lately? Like severe ones too. It's not just Raiders fans anymore. Yeah, a guy died. Yeah. He was there with his kid.
Oh my God.
And he hit his head on the concrete and died. I can't imagine you're a kid. You're there with your dad in this stadium full of strangers. Like he's the only person there who he's really looking out for you. And then that happens. Like, holy shit, you're going to need some time on a therapist couch with that. But we gotta chill out. It's a football game. There's 17 of them and there's a whole nother season next year. So calm down. You don't need to punch a guy because he's wearing a blue shirt. Seems pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I was just reflecting the other day on games and the number of games, and this is all because Bakhtiari is like out again, right? So, and I'm not even a Packer fan, but like my inner rage and I'm just my sense of wonder and curiosity, and then I started thinking about the season and how many games and how many preseason and what the hell they're doing in the off season, and so when you were just talking about how many games, that triggered me just now. I'm triggered, and he's not even my player.
I don't even know when he last played. I think last year against the Bears or something. I saw a post like if that's his last game, that's
he's basically a contracted employee at this point. I mean, he's the guy in the office where, when things start to heat up, you need extra sales or something. You got an IT problem, whatever. Pull in case of fire. This guy's on call in case you really need him. But other than that, he's not playing, and that's unfortunate because he's an all-pro tackle. So what do you do? I mean, how can you play 1 week and then totally on injury reserve the next week? For as much as he's done it, it just seems like the dude doesn't feel like playing.
Yeah.
Is it because they're playing on turf? Is that his thing? Because he's got a big pet peeve with that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think his brother put it on social media that he was not going to play on turf. And then they asked him about it and he said, oh yeah, he told me I was going to do that. I said, I don't give a shit what you do. So he sort of brushed it off. Maybe that's why he didn't play on grass, to show us that he also won't play on grass. I don't know. But he's out there swiping his cards, spending $90 million because he's allegedly so good at blocking people, and yet he hasn't blocked anybody in the calendar year 2023, I don't think. So, yeah.
Yeah, at a certain point, you just got to ask him, do you want to play football?
What would you say you do here?
Exactly.
Oh, we can't really talk about football and not talk about the Miami Dolphins scoring 10 touchdowns against the Denver Broncos last week. That was fucking nuts. No field goals, 70 points. Two only threw for 309 and 4 touchdowns. The running backs scored 8 times. I think at the end of this season, we're going to look at what the Cleveland Browns have allowed to running backs, and we're going to say, wow, that's less than what the Dolphins or what the Broncos gave up in one game.
Mm-hmm.
And she's back.
I love that it was a pummeling too. Like there was no mercy. It was just like one after the other after the other.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany Schultz, I know her. How many times has 70 hit the scoreboard? I think
was that 3,
once
4?
Before. Was it?
I mean, I think there's a couple, but I mean, we're going back to, I don't know, post World War II, we're talking Cold War stuff in the 50s.
This is the most points since 1966. They could have kicked a field goal and set the record, and they chose not to. That's almost more demoralizing.
I know that's kind of like we're tired of embarrassing you.
Yeah,
and that's what makes McDaniels freaking awesome.
That and those are just Coke dealer sunglasses that he wears on the sidelines now. And I like it. I really do like it. He's got his own thing. He's not one of these stuffy baby boomer coaches that's all crotchety on the sidelines. He looks like he just did a line.
Yeah.
And he might have.
He's leaned all the way into Miami. It was really the perfect situation for him. I can't believe I missed the McDaniels Denver angle. He was their ball boy growing up, and he wanted to coach the Broncos. He wanted to play for the Broncos. That was his dream. And you can look at him and see that guy is not going to play NFL football, but he did become a pretty good coach. And they didn't even interview him when they went through the process.
I think
he played college. Yeah.
Yeah. For Yale or Stanford, I don't remember.
They didn't even have him in for an interview. So he said, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So if you're do you go home? Do you hit the bottle? Or are you crying in the shower? Like, what are you doing? What does his night look like when he leaves the stadium? Holy shit.
Sean Payton?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's eating crow because he is really reflecting the thing that he mocked in the offseason with Nathaniel Hackett.
So far, he's underperforming what Hackett has done.
Yeah.
In the first 3 weeks.
Yeah. But, they go to the Bears this week, and I mean, that's a quick conversation change because now it's a get right against the Bears, and they're favored. So, yeah. I mean, Denver radio and everybody I talk to thinks that this is going to be a shellacking in Chicago, and that's embarrassing.
Oh,
because
a few steps over here says poor John and his Bears. Feel for you, buddy.
I'm just going to sadly look out my window. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Kelsey is on the map. That's the social media trend these days.
Jason Kelsey's the better Kelsey. Just saying. He's
a lot of videos of.
Yeah. Speaking of Bears. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It was like for the two teams that got waxed this last weekend between the Bears and the Broncos, there's definitely an out for both. They could point to the other and say, well, we're not that guy. So, and also the big distraction before the Bears got pulled from the air was, of course, having who at the game. I'm not going to speak her name into existence on this podcast, but who was in the press box. And so that was a nice little distraction from what was going on the field until they pulled it for the Cowboys game.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that was their A1 game. They had their top commentators, that was the Fox premier game, and they pulled it off the air.
And of course, just the The comment that will never go away. Hey, you remember that time the Bears could have drafted Pat Mahomes? Yeah, we remember. We're fully aware.
Yeah. We took the kid out of North Carolina who had played 12 games. Yes.
Yeah.
We did that. We did do that. I see a lot of ladies posting on the internet. They'll secretly record their husbands, which is dirty pool. They'll say, did you hear that Taylor Swift is going to make Travis Kelce famous? And the husbands obviously lose their mind. Although I saw one this morning of a husband telling his wife that Taylor Swift was, quote, about to blow up, and she lost her fucking mind.
Yep.
She's about to blow up? Like 9 times.
That's so funny.
So that cuts both ways. What else do we want to talk about in week 3 besides the 70-20 debacle? The Browns allowed 3 points again. They've only allowed an opponent to cross the 50-yard line once this season, I'm pretty sure. I was looking at what they do with tight ends because old Mark Andrews playing them this week. 8.7 yards per game allowed to tight ends. That's not a lot. The Colts beat the Ravens. That was wild. Mm-hmm. And the Cardinals beat the Cowboys 28-16. That's just beautiful stuff right there. It was never even a game. Cardinals put up 21 in the first half and then another 7 in the fourth quarter to put them away.
Josh Dobbs, baby.
Joshua Dobbs.
Coach said it pretty well in the text chain, saying, I think Parsons is hungover. Probably. That is definitely a game where everybody was out the night before drinking. Yeah,
something happened there. Arizona's a destination for that kind of stuff. From what I hear, they have adult cabarets down there that are just top shelf and probably irresistible.
Real nice.
You serious, Clark?
Oh, gosh.
Real nice. Bengals barely beat the Rams. People are starting to panic on the Bengals.
This confirms another theory that I have, which is the minute you get paid, you stop caring. Yes. It's not new. It's not novel, but we are seeing it play out time and time again. Yep. And I didn't think we'd get that from Joe Burrow. And he also might be injured. So there's a little bit of an asterisk on that one. But good God, that there is a strong correlation there.
Yeah, I mean,
Heavy Steps got your number over here. He sees you on your phone, and he said, Chris is putting in a 20-leg parlay right now.
Probably.
It was a 9-leg parlay, Heavy. Thank you very much.
We're being responsible here. We only need 9 things to happen.
Yeah, not 20. My God.
Oh. God.
You know that kind of. I'm gonna say something that's gonna piss you off here, but I don't see how on earth that's ever gonna happen. How many times in the history of the universe have the 9 planets lined up?
Yeah,
they make it's like once every 100,000 years or something, ever. So you want the 9 planets to line up. I'm just not a parlay guy. I'm sorry.
When the ball bounces funny, it's funny shape. John and Angela, what do you think about the scripted NFL and how all these 0-3 teams are playing each other this week? I also saw a video about magnet gloves this morning. That might be real.
Oh my God. That makes me
want
to
happening.
I don't know if you can script how shitty my team plays from time to time. I don't know if you can script that. So I don't know if I buy into that completely. I just and would my Christian quarterback do something like that? I don't know about that. I don't think.
Yes, Heavy Steps, magnet gloves. I seen it.
There's
no other way to describe it.
Yeah, part of me does think that the NFL scripts, quote unquote, I think they have their thumb on the scale when they really need it. And we'll see that from time to time, whether that was the Saints getting hosed. You remember about 4 years ago in the playoffs. Yeah. I mean, you can't tell me that the guy that comes after Goodell and pisses off Goodell gets screwed in the playoffs, and that's just a coinkydink. Come on.
Yeah.
Oops. No. The receiver was shoved to the ground, and the ref was staring at it while it happened.
Yeah.
And he didn't do anything about it.
Right. Yeah, but I do feel like there are some scripts that they just can't get to play out. I think Jacksonville is one of those right now where they really want Jacksonville to be good, and they're not. I mean, back-to-back number one picks. They bring in Urban Meyer. Then, oh my gosh, that was a dumpster fire. We can't have that. So then they bring in Dougie Big Balls, and it's going pretty well. But, it's not playing out how they think. It's kind of like being a director and you bring in all the actors and everything, and you're like, okay, this works, this doesn't, but you have less control. I think if we're being honest, the NFL does do stuff like that.
Yep. There's a little swaying of things for TV money.
Let me tell you, they've been trying to stack Chicago with opportunities to do that, a la the frozen envelope kind of tricks and stuff like that. And I'm telling you, we just keep fucking the dog when it comes to that.
You just refuse to pick the right guys. I'll tell you what, Chicago Sports Talk Radio has been excellent on Monday mornings lately. Last Monday, they were so defeated they weren't even mad. It wasn't as entertaining as when the Packers beat them, because boy, they expected to win that game and they did not. And now I'm not sure the Packers win another game. That's how pathetic they looked. They were getting pushed around. Every position group got their ass kicked. I don't know.
You still play the Bears again. That's
true. We do have one more against the Bears, and that Lions game towards the end of the season is going to be high drama now.
Yeah. Everybody's got their own take on what's going on in Chicago. And I mean, nobody really knows because it seems like we have a curse on our entire franchise. So I reached out to a buddy who knows football, and I asked, like, what do you really think is going on? Somebody who actually watches football, knows defense, has coached, and he gave me this. So I'm going to put this out into the universe for all of those who want an honest sports guy's take on what's happening in Chicago. Are you ready?
Yes.
Lay it on us.
He said, and I quote, "I believe Eberflus has completely screwed Poles, our GM, with his awful coach, with how awful of a coach he is and how specifically pathetic and stubborn his defensive scheme is. It has handcuffed Poles to bring in and let go of the wrong pieces. So he's got an antiquated scheme."
Roquan Smith.
Yeah. Very next word. Roquan is the best linebacker in the league. He was let go because of scheme and money. Gibson was one of two on the team that could move a QB off the spot, let go because of scheme. Paid big money to Edmonds because he's a 6'5" middle linebacker who is believed to be the perfect fit for the scheme. Turns out he's
terrible,
and the scheme sucks. All the corners we brought in, long, slow, physical, scheme fits. Guess what? They suck. And the scheme sucks.
Yeah. What are you, rushing the passer? That doesn't fit our scheme at all. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we're sending four, not even sending four. When I say send, it sounds like a blitz. We're pressuring with four guys who suck and never giving up an ounce of any leeway on the line of scrimmage. So basically, we have what I would like to call a scheme problem, in the words of my friend. So that's never going to work. And all the smart offensive minds in the room are like, okay, we'll just put him there, and there, and he's going to have all day to throw it. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I think Luke Getsy's just a bad hire. And hearing him talk about Justin Fields this week and being like, yeah, we're happy with the progression he's made as a leader and all this. It's like, dude, stop lying. It's so bad. Like, it's like they trotted out the king and he's not wearing any clothes and everyone's afraid to say it. All the coaches. It's like, I wish somebody at some point would just say, yeah, we're not doing well.
Yeah. All the hype too, leading up to this year. My God, it was such a high expectation, or middle to high.
No, we were
all that much.
What was the over under 8 wins? And I could talk myself into 10.
Right. Chicago has never got the QB position right. Yeah, not even Jim McMahon. The Lions made it to the playoffs when they started 0-3 before. Let's see.
The Lions look like a wagon.
2018 Texans started 0-3, finished 11-5. 98 Bills started 0-3, finished 10-6, lost in the wild card. 1995 Detroit Lions started 0-3, fell to 3-6, finished 10-6, won their last 7, and then won in the wild card round. Look at Tiffany Schultz pulling the fucking football nuggets out of the mine. And then the 92 Chargers, 82 Bucks, and 81 Jets. Those are the only. It can be done.
Yeah.
Not by the Bears, though.
No, and I think mindset has shifted in the last 10 to 15 years. When you talk about the 80s and the 90s, nobody was tanking the same way. It wasn't a let's pack it in after week 4 and just screw the season. I mean, they played for wins back in the day more so. Yeah, well, they also needed to, because it was more of the ownership was needing people to be in the stands so that they could break even. And now we're to the point where it's like, okay, well, we got multi-billionaires running teams, and let's tank it for this season and then run it back with a higher draft pick next season. So, yeah, I think teams pack it in the first 5 weeks a lot sooner, or a lot more than they used to.
Yeah, it's more beneficial than it used to be.
Yeah.
And you have a good idea of how these drafts are going to go pretty much, or who's going to be available. And you have Dion's kid who says he doesn't want to go second. He's going to go back to school so he can go first. And
No, he's making millions.
Yeah.
That's saying the exact same shit. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Oh, I'd rather be first, which is okay. So you're still going to be second. So you're still cowering away from not being first. Okay.
Hey,
I don't think he's that great. I don't think he's that smart either.
He's the number 3 NIL deal in the country right now.
Yeah, he should
this
stay
year.
in Colorado.
So next year he'll be the number 1 NIL deal in the country, and he's making more in college than the rookie cap.
Yeah.
So why would he go? He'd lose money going to the NFL. Even if he went number 1, you get a rookie. There's a cap there.
You still got to play 12 more games and risk your knees and ankles.
Deion Sanders just secured a $90 million endowment for NIL deals. Like,
Nice.
his son can get 50 of that. Come on.
He's brought an insane amount of money to that program already in like 5 minutes.
While we're still talking about Shedeur,
He
I
might get
did
paid
like
more
him.
He might get paid more than Mahomes.
Tiffany says, I love that Chris's fidget is a football. I got a stress football.
These are from Angela, too. She got these for us.
Yeah.
She's like,
Angela
okay,
hooked us up. I also got one of these.
What
Ooh,
about your putty? You have putty
A
too.
rubber band. I have a rubber band that's been stuck to this table since the very beginning.
Do you use your putty or not?
No, the putty makes a mess. I drop little pieces of it. There's cats and things. So I haven't messed with the putty here.
Hairy
You
putty.
got multiple cats and dogs here. It's a sanctuary. It's great. My daughter loves coming to this house because there's endless animals to socialize with. Speaking of girls, there's a video of a girl kicking off in a college football game, and you definitely should not go find it. And if you do not laugh. Didn't go very far.
Oh, no.
Didn't go very far.
Then we have
He said, "Oh no,"
which makes no sense.
Oh, no.
How can you? There's plenty of girls that can kick. How can you not find the one that could boot it?
yeah.
that's all. That's where girls' muscles are, right? They're bottom half. Boys are top.
Right. That's supposed to
They
be
should
that.
launch that fucking ball.
I love this anatomy lesson. Yeah,
John's like, that's the only one that's ever taken a college class. Shut the fuck up.
College, kinda. Couple of
oh,
years.
gosh. I made it through college without taking a single science class. It was all math.
That is actually talent, huh?
That's right.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, shame on them for not finding a girl who can kick the ball, because they're plenty out there.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
These chicks play soccer.
As a dude who's been kicked in the nuts by a girl at recess, they're out there.
Yep, they're out there. Then
What
we
was her
have
name? Give her a call.
She will not be named either.
and we have Haley Van Voorhees at Shenandoah out there rushing the passer in a real live football game.
Oh,
Were they
God,
up
she's gonna
26
get hurt.
points? Sure.
Right.
I mean, they were up 26. They put her in on a third down. She did get to and hit the QB. And she says it when
It
she
looked
took
a
her
little
helmet off,
scripted.
a little bit. It looked a little Make-A-Wish situation. But
Yes, that's a great way to put it, Eric.
my
And I'll
initial
be
thought
honest,
was, this is a
don't
boy.
Google this either unless you want to have your heart break a little bit. Some of those Make-A-Wish things don't go as planned either. It's
Well,
not.
You
There's
just
some
look
bad
nice
ones
Sunday
out there
morning
where
after
maybe not everybody got the memo that this is a Make-A-Wish
Yeah.
play, and then
Sometimes-
somebody got snot bubbled in the backfield.
There's a free safety who doesn't check his email regularly. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a behavioral disorder kid that's been waiting his whole week for this moment, and the gap opened up, and he thought it was for him to rush, not for the running back.
He's like, I'm just trying to make it as real as possible. We'll let him on the next play. You
You
can't
can-
walk anymore.
I think you could get me on board. I would sign off on girl place kickers because there's almost no situation where you're kicking a field goal and you get contact, and you're definitely not getting contact on. Well, I don't know the return. You might have to make a tackle on a kick return, but a female with her bone density out there colliding with males on a third down. I don't love that.
I don't like
What?
it.
Hashtag girl power. I have a random news story that I found. I feel for these Amazon drivers. They have a super demanding job. They got, and we all sort of take them for granted too. Well, not here. PSR Kate puts snacks and refreshments out for them. But most places they're underappreciated. Not only that, you got 67 cameras in the truck looking at your pupils, counting how many times you pee. It's not good. So, when you step on a porch and a fucking rattlesnake reaches out and grabs you, that's got to be the last straw. This 21-year-old girl in Palm City, Florida last week was delivering a package, and this massive Eastern Diamondback bit her right on the leg. I can't find what happened with her. She went to the hospital in serious condition. Is that what happens with every rattlesnake bite? You're admitted to the hospital in serious condition? I don't know, but I haven't seen the story that she either recovered or perished. So hopefully she's recovered.
Yeah, I think they're some pretty unsung heroes here. At least where I live, because they don't come by once. They come by multiple times a day in our building with upwards of 500 people. It is chaos. Let me just tell you.
Right. Put it into perspective. You ordered your Mrs. Roper rig like I did.
Nice.
For my Mrs. Roper pub crawl. And I'm like, my freaking thing, and it didn't show up, and it's supposed to be here. And so, wasn't this awesome? I'm going to have a wallet today, you guys. I'm not going to be able to tuck all this under here.
No, you're not.
These glasses look like McDaniels.
It makes it exactly. But you put it into perspective, and you're like, it was supposed to be here at 3:45, and I ordered it like yesterday, and it's like 3:50, and this person's getting bit by rattlesnakes.
Yeah. The irrational anger that comes from the little tchotchke that you need next week that you're mad that isn't here at 3 p.m. today.
Yeah.
Is crazy. And I've succumbed to that too. Like, where's my vitamin C pills? And I've got plenty of them. Yeah. It's just my backup,
Sometimes I'll order something in the morning, like at work, and it's there when I get home from work, and my mind is blown every single time.
Right.
Like, this was in a warehouse 6 hours ago.
Yeah.
Those people around the holidays have a hard time keeping it together. Those delivery people are
bringing new meaning to the word "go postal."
Not around here though. When you come to PSR Kate's house, she's got a huge cooler to keep them not frozen with drinks, and then all kinds of
Red Bulls, like not Aldi brand energy drink, name
no.
brand Red Bulls.
That's
maybe
Gatorade.
Thanks, Biden. But yeah. Thank your president when you show up.
Probably going to be RC Cola this
brand. Year. Yeah, RC Cola and Virginia Slims this year.
Speaking of wildlife encounters, John, watch out for moose, dude. A woman hiking with her dog in Colorado was charged by a cow or a female moose, for you casuals, and it stomped her, breaking 3 vertebrae in her back and a few ribs, tore up her kidneys. I found nothing on the dog's fate. I assume the dog got away. That's a maneuverable animal versus a moose. He's not going to get stomped, right? I don't think. But yeah, she survived it, thankfully. But she's lived there all her life. She's like, yeah, I've always been able to keep my distance. Like, moose come around her house. She lives way in the sticks. And she said the thing just totally snuck up on her and charged her. I don't know, it must be mating season. Yeah, it is fall.
It is.
Yeah, it is. Getting it on.
Yeah, they make some weird noises too.
Can't get in between that.
No, can't get in between that.
That is some violent lovemaking.
And they're getting down to brass tacks this time of season.
All business with the moose fucking.
Yep.
It's just not good.
1,000-yard stare. Yep. A woman named her child Methamphetamine Rules, and she's a fucking reporter. Not here, thank God. We got enough problems. This is in Australia. She was curious about the process of how the government goes about rejecting names on the basis of them being inappropriate or whatever. And now she has an adorable little baby with the legal given name Methamphetamine Rules. So you got to capitalize those. Yeah, she did a news story, I guess, about what can I legally name my baby? Because, of course, make the news about you. And she, I guess, in a lighthearted prank or curious test, she named her child Methamphetamine Rules, resident of, I don't know, Queensland, somewhere in Australia. So don't do that. Just don't do that. Just
Man, I
think
can't
about
believe
your
that wasn't-
kid in 4th grade in the classroom having his name read or her name read at attendance, and just don't do that to them.
Can't you just shake your ass up to the county hall and be like, hey, if I do this, will they allow it? And then write your story instead of doing a stupid experiment. And then now your kid is known as the methamphetamine kid, or formerly known as, if you could make it like Prince did. I don't know what that would be, but what the frick?
Right? You get pulled over. Oh, methamphetamine. Step out of the car, please.
Yeah, the older I get, the more I realize Australia is the Florida of the world.
It really is. That's a great analogy.
I like
everything. Everything's out to get you. The trees, the plants, the spiders, they're all highly venomous.
Yep.
It's not good. You got those little blue-ringed octopi. I saw somebody pick one of those up. I don't know if they're with us any longer, but just barehanded picked up a blue-ringed octopus. As far as I know, that's a highly venomous, very toxic animal. And then you got the box jellyfish, which is just clear. You can't even see it. And that'll kill you too. So
the invisible killer.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be going there. Obligatory hockey talk. Our buddy Vasilevsky down in Tampa had back surgery. He'll be out a couple months. So I don't know what their goaltending situation is going to be in Tampa, but it will be a downgrade from Vasilevsky, no doubt. Why did you not know you needed back surgery when the season ended?
Yeah, what the hell
Were we putting it off? Do you not want to play a full season?
Is this a Scottie Pippen didn't want to ruin my summer?
Oh, it's my golf game.
Didn't want to ruin this. Man,
Scotty Bedard took to the ice 2 assists.
Yeah.
Right.
What a great guy, huh? Didn't have to, be that guy. He was the other guy, which is good.
Hey, didn't they just play hockey in Australia to tie these two things together? I believe they did.
I don't know. I'd have to look. Missed that.
Yeah, I mean, it's preseason, so I only pick up what I hear on the radio. Haven't tuned into a game yet, but yeah, he looks good. He's all around the puck, and as advertised, he's going to be a stud.
Oh, they're playing a bunch. The NHL Global Series, Melbourne.
Ooh.
Coyotes and Kings. Oh, that was just a 2-game deal. Yeah, wow. Fly over to Australia to fucking... I saw a guy trying to chop a log in Australia, and it was like a cement log. Like everything there is pushing you closer to death. I don't like it. Yeah. The Ottawa Senators were sold to Toronto billionaire Michael Andlauer. He has entered into an agreement to purchase 90% of the team. They announced on Tuesday, Anna and Olivia Melnick will retain a 10% interest. Wait, was it owned by 2 chicks? That's pretty cool. At the same time, the Senators will be sold for a price of $950 million. Fuck, that's a lot of syrup. $950 million.
Wow. Canadian or American?
Canadian, right?
Yeah. You always look at books and you're like, wow, I bet they don't even read in Canada. That's
I know.
Crazy.
Amazing. Yeah. Oh my God.
This guy has been wheeling and dealing hockey teams for decades. He sold the Hamilton Bulldogs to the Montreal Canadiens, and then he bought a different team plus a piece of the Canadiens. Whoa, let's ease up on the RC Cola slander. Coach has entered the chat.
I wish Coach was here because I found out that they just made queso Funyuns, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Queso Funyuns?
Yeah, queso
Funyuns are fun.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's its own thing. Like
it's kind of a hat on a hat there.
It's an iconic thing. Like I don't know how can you do that?
Ship that shit up to Green Bay because we got to learn how to put a fucking hat on a hat up there. We missed that all fucking night, and it was disgusting.
We do. I saw our guard just absolutely lost out there. John, can we get an example of the moose fucking noises?
Give me a minute. I'll pull it up.
Oh,
I know. I know elk they whistle real loud when they're trying to call.
Yeah, so it's like
It reminds me of Super Troopers.
I mean, a common house cat or two will make you think somebody's outside being murdered. So a couple of 2,000-pound animals. Yeah.
You ever hear a rabbit get scooped up by a bird of prey? Oh, that is alarming. That'll shake you for the rest of your life.
I bet. Oof. Oh, this guy's a CEO of a healthcare group in Canada. Fuck, that's a license to print money. Dave Portnoy bought a new house. Word around the campfire is it was $42 million. It's in Nantucket. It's actually two houses on a large property, one on the water, one off the water, and they're connected by an underground tunnel. And
did you buy it for $1?
Nope, he bought it for $42 million. And he's got to be happy about this because it's the most anybody's ever paid for a single family home in Nantucket. And he's obsessed with Nantucket. This is really a win for short guys everywhere when you think about it. Ugh. A record-setting real estate deal. It looks like a badass house, but I mean, for $42 million bucks. He was talking about how he, building Barstool, he was able to stay there for a night or a couple nights, but he always had to leave with the ferry. And then, he got more successful. He was able to rent for a week and stay for a whole summer. Then he bought a house. Now he bought a massive house in Nantucket. I've never been to Nantucket. Angela, you seem like a Nantucket type person. Have you been there?
No.
I assume
which this shouldn't surprise you guys being who I am, but my East Coast experience really just is New York City. And I've spent some time at the restaurant where they filmed Mystic Pizza. So I went to Mystic Pizza.
Wow.
and a couple of
what is that?
A couple of architectural mansions.
You guys ready for this?
Oh my God. They sound like blenders?
That's the water. Wait for it.
Oh, a little mood water. Boy,
bullshit.
Cue the horror movie.
Far.
Hold up. Is that the fucking bull or the cow?
That's moose bugling. Language for wrong hole.
Yeah, but
it sounds like a horror movie.
Who's doing it? The cow or the bull?
The bull.
That motherfucker needs to get some nuts. That was way too high.
Heather's here. Heather loves your shades.
Heather, do you know what these are? My Mrs. Roper shades. I organized a Mrs. Roper pub crawl. It's a regional national thing. I organized one locally, and this is my wig. I have a cap fan. I have the jewelry. I have a get up.
So that's Three's Company, right?
You got to explain what that is. What is Mrs. Roper?
You are so fun.
From Three's Company. My middle name is Fun. From Three's Company.
Yeah, but that was from the 1900s. That's like,
hey, we all had naked
1900s, yeah.
So
everybody's gonna dress up like Mrs. Roper and pub crawl, and I have made name tags that say "Hello, my name is Helen," and everybody's gonna get one. And then
what is it?
Explain to us, Mrs. Roper and Three's Company.
Three's Company is a century ago. You guys know what it is. Some people,
but not everybody.
Okay, anybody who's watching this, if you know who Mrs. Roper and Three's Company, say it in the chat. Okay, so here's the deal. Mrs. Roper is from Three's Company. Is a TV show with Chrissy, Janet,
it's a
Jack.
sitcom. We used to have sitcoms.
Situational comedy. Yeah.
Hang on. We would sit around as a family at night and we would watch them after we ate dinner at the table together.
Oh my God, right? And my dad would make me get up and change the channel manually because that was before they had remote controls.
Yeah. So here's Three's Company in a nutshell. It was one of the first situational comedies, which has become a sitcom. And here was the situation that was so comedic. A guy needed someplace to live, but he was straight. But they had a rule that you couldn't live with a woman unless you were married, let alone two women, because scandal. So they basically told Mr. and Mrs. Roper that he was gay so that he could live with them. Meanwhile, the dude is skirt chasing left and right in every episode. He is just trying to bang the two chicks.
Yeah,
original grifter. Yeah. He was doing it before it was cool.
Yeah,
it was funny because he would have to pretend he was gay around Mr. Roper.
Yes, the landlord would come down.
There were two Mr. Ropers, and the first one he died.
I bet
that. And then Don Knotts came in.
Yeah, Mr. Furley.
Does that get canceled today?
Oh, I don't know. Probably, which would be a pretty rotten shame.
Were they making fun of?
It would be incredibly.
Oh yeah.
It would be. it would be painfully unfunny if they made it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it would
But
be
it
a tough
was hilarity back in the day.
Yes. Yes, it was. Can we start getting a weekly Survivor update on this show?
Is that Jordan Thomas?
That's got to be Jordan. Well, Jordan, if you want to join and give us a
Hey,
Survivor
T.
Hi,
update.
homie.
Yes.
What's up,
I have
homie?
not. My daughter is 13, and the last time I watched Survivor was when her mom was pregnant with her. So I am not the person.
Not in the loop.
No.
Not in the loop.
Nope. That and Breaking
Okay.
Bad.
So real quick, what side of the ball are you on? Denver or Chicago, John?
I've got money on Denver.
I feel good about that pick. It's one of my lock of the week. It's one of my 5 locks.
Yep. Chris is
Yeah.
in.
I'm all in. I just saw Sean Payton and a Super Bowl winning quarterback, a shit coach, and a quarterback that I don't even know can throw the fucking ball, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's broken. Yeah, I think I might put in another bet because I think the line is 3.5 or 3 right now.
Yeah.
And I honestly think it might be a 14-point game. So I'll probably tease it up to 10. Here's the thing. So the Broncos look
I'm
like
Come and
dog
knock
shit.
on my door.
Come and knock on my door. Take a step.
We've been waiting.
We've been waiting for you.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Where
intro.
the
on the beach just staring at chicks. Like the whole thing was how much of a horn dog he was, and yet they had to make him gay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So much.
And he's like dumping
Take
his
a
bike
step
off
that
the-
is new.
His ridiculous friend Larry, who was like chest hair open, drippy necklace, like
Yeah.
had
He was like
herpes.
two wild and crazy guys type energy.
Wait, here's the ultimate trivia. What is the name of the bar they used to go to?
I do not know.
the Regal Beagle.
The Regal
Cheers?
Beagle.
Oh yeah, the
That's the whole
Regal.
premise of my pub crawl is that you get to go in and make each place your own Regal Beagle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So hey, I was just down in Houston this week, Angela, and we went to St. Arnold's. It's a brewery down in Houston, and our company took us on a private tour. So we got to go down to the bottling company, and right when I walked in, somebody threw a fucking glove on one of the bottles coming down the fucking chain, and all of us started singing
That's the
happy.
best.
I mean, all at once.
That's awesome.
It was Laverne and Shirley all over. So we do the whole deal, and now instead of people there, there's a whole bunch of robots, right?
Oh, do they every once in a while put a glove down? I hope they do.
Well, the dude ran over and did it because it was funny.
Okay.
But
Speaking of
main
another show with
robot is
just
named
horny
Laverne.
dudes, Lenny and Squiggy and Laverne and
Oh,
Shirley.
God.
You kidding me?
Yeah.
Those guys were predators.
Yeah.
Yep.
for real.
And that was comedy in the 70s.
Growing
Yeah.
Pains had a kid named Boner.
And Sinead-
That's true.
Yep.
he did the bone, Stabone. What was his name? Something Stabone, and they called him Boner. That was
Stabone.
wild. How are you get away with that these days?
You could
Nick
not.
and Knight
You
used
couldn't
to
even
be
have
amazing.
you couldn't even make Webster these days because they made fun of him.
So this is a whole ass vibe this morning. I'm like this often, you guys. Like I'm a little bit kind of crazy.
Unhinged.
Just saying. I'm
Unhinged.
just saying. Like
She's just a
I
little
live
bit
for
of a
shit
girl.
like this.
Yep.
Just have fun.
I'll take
$5 to my girl Angela. You have
Yeah.
earned the money. What else? This house has $2 million worth of furniture. Wild.
Oh,
Fully
awesome.
furnished.
It's easy to do. It just stacks up. Ask your friendly neighborhood interior designer.
Yep.
It just happens. You fill a room. Cha-ching, cha-ching.
We call that furnished. I didn't it's sort of a unintentional wildlife episode. I found a bee murder too. Bees, I think, need a publicity firm. I suspect there's yellow jackets out there committing crimes that bees are being convicted of in the court of public opinion.
Absolutely.
A 59-year-old man in Harlan County, Kentucky, was moving a bag of potting soil on his porch, and I guess they were all hived up in there or something. Thing exploded with bees, and they stung him to death right there on his porch. Did not specify the kind of bees. So I'm thinking maybe this is a wasp situation. I don't know. Honeybees you see like one honeybee for every 20 yellow jackets you see nowadays. Now that it's September, these bees get aggressive, at least up here. They understand that their time is drawing to a close, and
They
they
do.
want to whack somebody before they go out
They're bitches. When you get stung by a bee, so many bees that it kills you, like your last word is not anything. Your last words, your last sentence is probably not anything reverent or,
Yeah.
you're probably screaming and swearing. And
No, bees do not hibernate in the way mammals do. They do not become inactive to consume energy. Instead, the colony acts like a tiny furnace by pumping their flight muscles all winter long. This is why you don't see a lot of activity of the interest. That was what I was wondering. Do they all die in the winter? No. They go hive up and zzz. You guys keep warm that way. I know there's a kind of bee that kills. This is why you pay attention. This is why you pay someone else to do your yard work. Yeah. Yeah, every once in a while, you have somebody run over a ground nest with a lawnmower or something and get attacked. But there's a kind of bee that kills the murder hornet. That murder hornet that comes in and chops all the bees' heads off. They like surround it and raise the temperature to 103, which the hornet cannot take, but the bees can. Teamwork.
You can't take the heat.
Yeah,
that's right.
Beehive.
What's gonna work? Teamwork. 10-year-old car thief. A 10-year-old boy and his 11-year-old sister stole their
Bonnie
mom's
and
car.
Clyde.
Yep. Stole mom's car on an early morning, and they drove 200 miles.
I love these stories.
Away from the Florida home. Because the vehicle was stolen, deputies conducted a high-risk traffic stop. So it sounds to me like they did the whole guns out. Put your hands.
Oh, gosh. Kids on a booster seat.
For what? Being rad?
Yeah. Kids sitting on phone books. I love these stories because they're always impressive.
He's probably been playing Grand Theft Auto for like 3 years already. I'm just saying.
It's never they found the car 3 houses down in a ditch. It's always like they were halfway to Keokuk, Iowa. And you're just like, how did this go for so long? How did they keep it on the street?
Took off and realized we don't have any money to buy gas. Shit.
That's right.
Yeah. 200 miles.
Also, what's going on at home that you feel entitled to do this? Not even entitled. You feel pushed to the brink to do this. Mom took away the iPad.
Was the child car thief named Methamphetamine Rules by any chance? Possibly. It seems like it would fit. Yeah. Yeah, that does seem accurate to me. So keep an eye on your keys. And, don't let the 10-year-olds take them. Watch out for bees and moose. And what other animal did we have? Oh, a snake. Yeah, rattlesnakes, moose. These things are aggressive. Anything else? Heavy Step says in 7th grade, I took my mom's car to get some donuts. Bad idea as it was snowing. I made it all the way there and back, but couldn't get the car back up the driveway because of the ice. Wow, that's bold. I took my dad's car.
We got a resident badass here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, blue ring octopi. Yeah, that's another one. We hit a lot of deadly animals. Got caught.
Yep. You would have got caught anyways. You would have parked the car crooked, or like dads and moms are keen to that shit. Like,
yep.
I don't remember parking sideways by 4 inches in the front.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I took dad's car.
That and the seats jacked all the way up for it.
Right. That's the seat jack.
I took dad's car.
Your mirror is like.
Yep, it's screwed.
You took
there's a Dunkaroo in the cup holder.
Where are you seeing?
I took the car to drop my sister off at school one morning, and then it was snowing, and I was, whipping it back and forth doing donuts, and I put it in a golf course. So I had to go home, wake Dad up, and explain to him that the car that he thinks is in the driveway is not in the driveway. It's in fact embedded in a golf course. And then the tow truck guy broke the ABS cable pulling it out. It was not good. Oh. I didn't get to drive a lot until I was 18.
That was you found out.
Yeah. I got a 96 and a 45 the morning after homecoming, and that was it for me for a couple years.
I think my big car thing was I had a pretty sick Bronco back in the day. It was a 93 Eddie Bauer Bronco, and we would take it off-roading, and we had a lot of housing developments in the area. So we would just go into the housing development that hadn't laid side yet, just do donuts and stuff, and then realize that there was a family in the house and that I needed to get out of there. And then another one was late at night. It had just snowed like an inch, which is perfect for drifting.
Oh yeah.
So I drift this Bronco for a little bit and then go deep into a deep ditch. And it's 2 a.m. So I have to call my dad. He's got an F350, F450, whatever, and pull me out. And you thought he would have been pissed, but he was just like, couldn't get out, huh? And just pulled it out. And I think he was more disappointed that I got it stuck.
Get it out.
Being
Yeah,
a Bronco.
get it out.
And then pussy. See you at home.
There's no way John was old enough to drive in 93.
Oh my God.
First day Heavy Steps had his license. He took his mom's car to Blockbuster while I was inside for an hour in the game aisle. Oh, those were the days.
Right.
My brother happened to be eating across the street, saw the car, ran over and moved it around the corner. That's dirty pool. I walked out and thought the car was stolen. That's an A1 prank right there.
Shitting your pants, like, oh my God.
The first time you've taken the car anywhere and it gets stolen, that's a nightmare. That's a nightmare.
That is good brotherly fun, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were the days.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I think we can get out of here. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for listening, tuning in. If you're a podcast person, become a video person. If you're a video person, download the podcast. Do both. Why not both, as that kid in the GIF says. Head over to PatriotSports.com, PatriotSportsNow.com. For all of our latest goings on, come see us on Wake and Rake tomorrow. If you're looking for Wake and Rake, we are out there every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. Central till about 10, or we're done talking football. You can find us on the Fantasy Sports Corporation YouTube channel. So just head over there and subscribe, and you'll be with us in the morning talking breakfast and football and whatever else comes up. Answer all the fantasy football questions. Have a great time overall. Till next time, be good to each other. Chris, kick the outro music.